Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome to OneMinuteTennis.com. In today's session, I want to talk to you about the volley, and specifically the biomechanics of the volley. Because if you get the biomechanics of the volley right, then you volley with the whole body. And when you volley with the whole body, the stroke is easier, more controlled, more reliable, and simply better. For most players, there are two problems on the volley. One is the footwork, and the other one is the swing path. But actually that covers just about everything. First of all, the footwork. Most players step either too early or too late. So too early is a disaster on the volley. It just adds stress as I step and then hit. This can be confusing because on ground strokes, we tend to load the footwork and then swing. But on the volley, you want the footwork to be occurring exactly as you hit the ball. And then, of course, there are players who are too late with the footwork. So there is hardly any footwork. They make the stroke, and then the step is to avoid them falling over after the stroke. This means that the stroke is entirely, or the ball is entirely being manipulated by the arm. The stroking problem most people have is actually that the arm is totally isolated from the body. And when the arm is isolated from the body in this way, then it's very easy for the wrist to be engaged in the stroke. The wrist wants to be totally neutral, totally locked through the volley stroke. But when we swing with the arm, this position here will be very common for a lot of people watching this video. And on the forehand volley, there'll tend to be a tendency to come underneath the ball and get too much spin. So they lose the crisp power that we want to put the ball away. But players with a great volley, they don't volley from the arm. They don't volley from the feet. They volley from the hips and from the shoulder blades, from the body. And to engage the big muscles of the body, we have to use a kinetic chain. But how do we make a kinetic chain of the volley? Because it's not as complex as the other strokes where we can have a body leading the arm, leading the racket, and then the racket leading the arm, leading the body. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and swing from my scapula. So my scapula is my shoulder blade here. So I'm first, as I take the racket back, I'm going to close the scapula towards my spine. And then I'm going to open it again. It'll actually go kind of down and forwards. And when I close the scapula to the spine and then open it, then now my arm is naturally locked. My wrist is going to be more locked, but a good idea is to have the wrist in extension. This is neutral, this is flexion, this is extension. So although the scapula will help, if you have the wrist in extension, it will truly be locked. It's a natural way of fixing the wrist position. So now, with my extended wrist, I'm going to draw the shoulder blade, my right shoulder blade towards the spine, and then swing. And now my hips are moving forwards with the movement of the scapula because the spine is moving forwards. So my scapula moves forwards, the hip moves forwards, and naturally, sequentially, the leg moves forwards. And it doesn't move before the stroke. It doesn't move after the stroke. It moves exactly with the volley. Same on the backhand side. I go into place here. I now close the left scapula to the spine and now forwards. And suddenly everything flows as it should do. When you engage the scapula, then the whole body is involved in making the volley. The volley will be easier, stronger, and way more consistent, simply a better stroke.
If you like this idea and find my unique slant on tennis useful, check out our books on Amazon. We have books on every aspect of the game, and the books give detailed explanations, great illustrations, and very simple solutions such as this. Or join players in over 40 countries that I'm helping with one-to-one coaching. We have a unique, inexpensive service that really works. For more information, check out the website or simply email me.
So don't volley with your arm, don't volley with your feet. Remember, the best volleyers in the world volley with their hips and their body. Use the scapula, it's an easy motion to make. Draw the scapula in, push it out, and everything in the volley will get better, cleaner, and easier. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for more unique tennis lessons that really work.